bracket, and Jim was first in the F bracket. Jim was second in the E bracket, excuse me. Paul was first in the E bracket, and Jim Shovak was second in the F bracket. So they're playing each other to determine who will go on to play for the championship. And in the other head-to-head for first, second, third, and fourth positions will be Mason Shuney and Jim Bishop. So that's kind of how it works, and we'll just keep you posted here as we go along. I'm sure there'll be a few people writing in trying to ask what that was all about. You'll get it once we go through it all as they play their matches. So here we go. They're going to go ahead now, and they're going to lag for the break, and we're going to start this match. How many points? Playing 25-point games. They're playing 25-point games, and that's exactly how the semifinals are done. The prelims were 20-point games. Okay, Paul Frankel, who finished with a 4-0 record, is playing Jim Shovak, who had a record of 3-1, and they are simply playing the first of a modified single elimination format. So Paul breaks, shooting the shot, missing a little wide on the break shot. Jim struggled in that last game with Mason. He ended up getting 2 points against Mason, who got the 25. So he really struggled, and maybe he'll perform this time and get in the groove, so to speak. Coming in on the 6th rail there, that was a 5 rail, but he picked up the 6th rail before the red, scoring a point, 1-0. He's going to come off the left side of, as he's looking at the left side of the yellow. No, he looks like he's drawing off the right side of the yellow. Yep. And makes the second point. Yeah, I don't know if he's hard enough. He hit it pretty good, but he's a little bit... Is he going to make it? I don't think it's going to make it. It's still rolling. Nope. Paul will simply come off the left side of the white as he's looking at it and come back to the long rail, short rail, long rail. Dropping into the corner. Back door. 5 rails, and that was a back door. Now, when I say the person is hitting off the right or left side of the ball, that's as the player's looking at it. So just keep that in mind as I'm explaining some of these shots. And Paul's going to spin off the right side of the white ball as he's looking at it again, spinning around to the red. Just like that. Got a kiss. Two to 1, Shovak over Frankel. Just a little update. Jim Shovak is the secretary of the USBA and has done quite a bit to bring the organization in fine detail back to recognition within the industry, along with the board that's all working together, and they're bringing the USBA to another level. And it was in the last 5 years has lost. 5 years ago, had about 150 members. They have now recouped new tournaments, new ideas, new promotions, new promoters, and it's on its way back up. We're talking 400 to 500 members minimum now, and much in part of that is due to Jim Shovak and his detail and his secretarial duties and promotional things. And of course, the other individual, Paul Frankel, is a private promoter who has Professor Cue-Ball, he's known as, and he has the Professor Cue-Ball magazine or publication with pool and billiards in it. Awesome publication. If you're interested in that, you might want to look that up. Go to ProfessorCueball.com. That's Professor, the letter Q, B-A-L-L.com. The score is 4-1. Shovak over Frankel. This is Paul Frankel. Most of you are familiar with him. A little bit of an update. Paul is the director of this tournament and has done a wonderful job now for 4 years running this regional effect, and just doing a great job. It was a great stroke there. It was a force follow through the ball, coming in a little bit to the short side on that white ball. And Paul, Professor Q-Ball, is out of Memphis. Jim is out of New York. And these players are from all over the country. And this tournament had a great field, 22 players that had a wonderful time and just sterling performance. A lot of really good play this week. High scoring. Oh, Miss Q just showed up. That's my wife. As you know, I didn't introduce, but I'm Dr. Q, Tom Rossman, and my wife's name is Marty Miss Q Rossman. That's MSCUE, in case you're trying to spell that. It's not something that you're thinking of. It's Miss Q and I have been together now for 24 years, traveling on the road and in marriage. And it's she just walked in. Great to see you, honey. She says hi. She says, ask me where the pockets were. And it's kind of funny because she's seen me making balls in pockets or missing them in pockets, telling jokes for the last 24 years. And this is actually my favorite game, though, 3 cushions. So we're here at the Penn Dennis Club for the 3rd time in a row, having the beautiful Penn Dennis Club, historical building in downtown Louisville. And they've opened their doors to us as a private club, but they've allowed the USBA and Paul Frankel to come in and run this tournament. And they just had put out the red carpet this year, so we appreciate the Penn Dennis Club for all of their hospitality. And their members have just been awesome. We've had a great time with them. Paul did a little magic for them, and I did a trick shot exhibition for them, an artistic pool demonstration on Thursday night. And it's just been great. So we thank them so much. Everybody here at the Penn Dennis Club, Darren and the other guys. Darren was kind of the organizer for the Penn Dennis Club, keeping things in line for us. The different board members, I don't want to really overlook anybody's name, but there's a list of them that are on the board. And also we have several of the members. They've really pitched in and helped out. Chip Sutherland, these guys have helped clean the balls. They've clean the tables, and they've done that all on their own volunteer just to keep everybody happy, and it's just been wonderful. So thanks for joining us on this stream. Let's get back to the game a little bit. You've seen a few shots. The score is still 4-1. Jim Shovak over Paul Frankel. Paul is going to shoot now off the left side of the red ball, drop down, come over to the side rail, and pick up the white. A little bit on the wide side. If you're watching this for the first time, 3 cushion billiards is what we're looking at. It's a kind of a PhD of all billiard games. We have 3 disciplines of billiards. We have the pocket billiards or pool, as most of you know. We have the 3 cushion or carom billiards, different types of carom billiards, but 3 cushion now is what most everybody's familiar with, without the pockets, as you can see. And then we also have the snooker billiards, which is something you see in Canada and over in England. Not a lot of it in the U.S. We have 10-foot tables in snooker, and they have 12-foot tables in the other parts of the world. We call American snooker on a smaller table. You're playing on a 10-foot table here. It is linked twice the width. There's the diamonds you can see on the rail top, so they are, in some cases, calculating certain shots. They're playing what I refer to as mathematically by feel. It's a way of playing the game to allow for certain shots to be higher percentage. A little bit about how the game is played. Paul is shooting the yellow ball the whole game. They lag to see who goes first, and Paul chose the yellow ball to shoot. He has to strike one of these other 2 balls, go 3 or more cushions, and hit the ball he didn't hit. He can also go 3 or more cushions first with the cue ball and hit both balls. He can go a rail first, the ball, 2 more rails or more, and hit another ball. In other words, you have to hit 3 or more rails before you hit the second ball of the 2 that are out there. There's 1, 2, 3 rails with yellow, missing the white ball. Now, you notice there that the white ball was accidentally struck on Paul's hit. He actually drove the red ball into the white ball, which caused the billiard to be less likely to be made. You have to control the first ball so that it doesn't disturb the second ball. For instance, here Jim's hitting the yellow ball off the right side. Well, count the cushions. 1, 2, 3 of the white coming down, coming out the backside and hitting, missing. In the first match with Mason, when it was 20, the score was 25-2 there. Jim struggled with that the whole game. He probably had a minimum of 12 to 15 shots that just missed by a whisker. Those are the kind that are part of the game. You figure your angles, you figure your speed, angle, and stroke, English, combination, and you put it all together and hopefully contact the two balls. Paul is going off the left, 1, 2, 3, and hitting the white. That's how 3 cushions played. Paul made what was called basically a natural shot there. Off of one ball, around the table, 3 cushions to the second ball. More of a natural angle shot. Now, he may now go, I'm looking here at the shot, he may go off of the red, left side, come in the short side, down to the short end of the table closest to you. So off of left side of red, to the long rail, back to this end rail, to the other long rail, to the right, and then back into red. Or he may decide to go off of the red right side and go around the table 3 cushions that way. He's looking at which is best as far as avoiding a kiss in a shot. Yeah, he's going to go off the right side of the red and then count the yellow ball, how many cushions. Okay, 1 cushion, 2 cushions, coming down, 3 cushions, and missing. If he'd hit the white, he'd have got a point for that. They're playing a 25-point game. So bottom line is, if they score 25 points with that technique, they win the game. If they get there before the opponent does. Jim is going to be shooting here off the right side of the yellow. Count his white ball. 1, 2, 3, and making contact. That's a point. Hence the term 3-cushion billiards. However, you can go more than 3, but you minimum of 3 and making contact with both balls. You cannot hit you cannot hit both balls or the last ball before that third rail is contacted. That is the primary requirement. Before you hit the second ball, you must hit 3 or more cushions in the process. So Jim's going to shoot off the right side of the yellow again as he's looking at it, and drop over into this corner where the red is. Dropping down, spinning over to the side rail, and coming up. More of a natural type shot for these players. It's 7-2. Jim is in the lead right now over Professor Cue Ball, Paul Frankel. Okay, Jim's going to shoot. Looks like off yellow. Come around 5 cushions. I think he'll come around 5 cushions on this. Yeah, he's going to spin all the way around, come out 5 cushions. There's 3. This is 4. This is 5. And back up 2. Another close one. Oh, man. Jim could put those close ones in a bottle and sell them, I tell you. But nobody'd probably buy them. They're just, they just eat away at you after a while. But again, that's the challenge of the game. This is my favorite game. This is Dr. Q, in case you missed that. My favorite game, I, of course, been doing the tricks for years. That was a kiss out there. You could see what happened. He hit the ball, and Cue Ball kissed it again, creating the miss on the shot. Not always does that happen. Sometimes when you get that second kiss in there, it kisses you into the shot. And I had an experience last night, and I was playing a great player, Max Fisher, and just a wonderful player. And we had several kisses during the game, and I had an early lead, and I lost at the end, and hence didn't make the finals, but had a great time and recouped and tried to learn a little bit from that loss, so to speak. And so I'm learning that in the loss there was some element of the victory, trying to figure out what did I learn. And you learn to maybe focus a little bit differently, a little bit more firmly, or tune your game through more practice. There's no blame. There's nothing blaming on the table. It's not your opponent. It is simply an application of your own and how you will dedicate yourself to practice. If you happen to find someone in your local area that you want to play three cushion, you would go under kind of his mentorship. Find someone who knows what they call the key shots. There are anywhere from 20 to 30 key shots at a game, the ones that are come up on a regular basis. And then, of course, there are the exotic shots, which take years to work on. But bottom line, oh, there's a great shot. That's a great shot, Paul. Just barely missing the backside of that. Cross table, back inside. But anyway, if you can find that person in your area, find a billiard table first of all. If you know a room that's got a table and they need some renewing of that table, you can contact the usba.net, usba.net, and there's information there about how rooms can get involved in tournaments, how they can get discount rates on cloth. That was a nice backup shot, they call that. He actually went around, came in the back door. We call it the back door shot. And in the process here, Jim is now making his move. He's got his rhythm. It's 9-2 Shovak. He's going to place his short angle here. Come across the table and drop it in just like that. Nice little finesse shot coming off. It's going to be a little bit short, it looks like. Okay, Paul's got a nice what they call, here's a natural example. He's going to come off the left side of the red, I think, or he may go off the left side of the white. You see the red balls, there's a thing called big ball in this game where the ball's sitting near a rail, not on a rail, but near a rail with it's still the same size. It's an intrinsic way of saying that the ball has a higher percentage chance of making the shots. Now he's elevating, he loses a lot of accuracy on this, and he may overdraw it. Yes, he overdrew the ball because of that. That's the problem when you jack up. You have to compensate. You're going to have a tendency to go down through the ball and create a masse effect almost, which accentuates the English and causes you to miss. But anyway, when the ball is big like that red ball and you're shooting off the other ball, your cue ball has a better chance of making that point on that red. When they're on the table, of course, there's more space to go around it. Jim's going to play one of his favorite shots. He's going to go off the right side of the red, drop all the way down into the yellow off the third or fourth rail, short rail. He's got to be careful for the kiss here. This is the problem right here. Yes. Oh, don't go around again. Oh, my goodness. This is called being, I think, frostbit. Unbelievable. I've seen more of those, I think, than I've seen in 20 years of playing by one person in 2 back-to-back games. It's just a combination of a little less English, a little more English, a little more speed, a little less speed, a little different hit on the ball. Those things need to be put together like ingredients in a cake, and then combine it with your feel, and hopefully make the connection. And Jim's just a little off. Even though he's winning this game, he could be up another 5 or 6 points just because of those close ones. But he's doing okay. Paul's not quite in full stroke right now, and the score is 9-2. So this is a 25-point game, and therefore you're going to find that this game can take many twists and turns up to the point of reaching 25. A guy can be up a whole bunch and then lose. I was up 18 last night to about 13, I think it was, and still lost. And I froze up on 18 and couldn't get over the hump. So that can happen. Jim made another nice shot. 10 points now. So they call that freezing up. And sometimes you're trying a little too hard to get the last couple points. Sometimes it's just that little tension that enters your game. But anyway, get a good night's rest, wake up in the morning, we're breathing again, and we're moving on, enjoying the game, and you learn from the experience. So don't ever give up at this game. Stay with it. Learn from your losses, because those are probably the truest of all the victories out there on the table. That was a nice shot. Jim hit that. Oh. Wow. Another close one. 10-2, Shovak over Frankel. We have a nice audience on the chat room. I'm not really on a monitor where I can read the chats, but Curly's down there, and he's probably picking up on some of those chats and stuff. And they're reading things. If you want to have a specific question for me, feel free to chat it in, and they can always turn around and ask me the question. I'll try to give you some kind of an answer for it. If I don't have the answer, I'll just get a hold of my wife. She'll have the answer. 24 years we've been married and doing the Dr. Q show on the road and stuff, and it's been a great journey. So I hope each of you find your calling and passion in life and enjoy it immensely, just like these three cushion players have found it with three cushions. So wonderful art form. Beautiful. How's Curly doing over there? Pretty good? Doing pretty good, Curly? How you doing? But words of wisdom from Curly. He says, I don't know. What a great guy. You guys are doing a great job of streaming. We appreciate him so much. So thanks for coming down. Fantastic. Awesome. What's your official way to get hold of you, Curly, if they need to get hold of you? Can they call you or give you an email somehow? mi_billiards @yahoo.com. mi_billiards, BILLIARDS @yahoo.com. Give them a note if you want them to come to your event. Do a little streaming. They're the guys to do it. Make sure you give them a buzz. Thanks, Curly. Appreciate it. Okay, we got an 11-2 score here. Jim got another point while I was talking with Curly, and you just enjoy the view here. If there's something I think you've all got to figure out how they're scoring the points, and Jim's going to try to avoid that. Watch that yellow ball kind of go behind the red, I think, is what he's going to do. See the yellow go behind the red? Now watch, come around. Missed it again. Boy. The joy of that is hard to explain. Believe me, you have to experience the high of the game and the dire of the game. It's sometimes not an answer to figure out why. I think that it's just maybe on a certain day you enjoy it, and another day you enjoy it even more. So it's like life. Here we go, spinning over, and Paul barely missed it on the backside. Okay, thanks, Curly. Yeah, Curly just gave me his business card. It is Mr. Billiards, video and live streaming, Steve Elzinga and Michael Christensen. And we have Michigan, mi_billiards, BILLIARDS @yahoo.com. Send them an email, and they appreciate it. If you want to send them in, tell them you appreciate it. They're streaming here to give you an option of seeing three cushion here at the beautiful Pendennis Club in downtown, January 16th, 2011. Paul coming around, a little bit on the short side, a little tentative. Paul was really flowing earlier, but they're discussing the innings right now. There is what they call innings in the game. Every time you go to the table, it's an inning. So let's assume you go to the table and you score a point. Then you sit down. All right, at that point, you're averaging 1.0. You scored 1 point in 1 inning. If you go back to the table and don't score and you sit down, you got 1 point in 2 innings. That's a .5 average. And so on. If you scored 1 point in 3 innings, then you would have a .333 average. And the way that works basically is you're in three cushion. If a person is averaging about a .5, they're kind of an average player. They're between .5 and probably about a .75 or that's a B-level player, they would refer to that as. I'm pretty sure that you can go to USBA and not get the exact range. If you're under .5, you're probably a C-level player. And if you're over .75 or 8.0 or higher, you're basically an A-level player. That's USBA. A top player in the U.S. would average, very top player like Mason Shuney, one of those guys, they would average anywhere from .9 on up to about 1.3, 1.4, maybe 1.5. If you go to the international setting over in Europe and Asia, South America, these guys are sometimes averaging as much as 2, 2.2, 2.3, even a little higher. The development stages in games. I think one of the things about the American style of three cushion, we've never really had training clinics and things like that. We've had some clinics, but it's been done by the players coming in from overseas. We don't have the youth programs. These are things that in Europe you have tremendous youth programs. You have a lot of rooms that have special clinics, tutors, mentors, great instructors of the game, and because of that, they've taught how to strike the balls with more accuracy, where the first ball is going to go, so you don't get that kiss out. And if you look at different shots, bottom line, these players are, if you look at the international setting, those players are trained getting from, they strike their cue ball, and when they make that first ball hit, and that cue ball you strike goes to the first cushion, they know exactly where it's going to hit that cushion. They know exactly the English, and they know exactly the speed and everything. And as a result, they practice that a lot. That's in their game. Even a smaller carom table. This is a 10-foot. They might play for 3, 4, 5 years, just straight carom, go to 1 rail, 2 rail, and eventually to 3 rail. By the time they're going to 3 rail, they've already had years and years of practice getting from that point A to point B. So in this case, the cue ball is point A here for Jim, the white ball. The yellow ball is point B. And then you have to get off the side of that yellow to another point on the rail. In this case, Jim's going to go off the red. He's got to figure out how to hit the rail over there off that red. Now watch his cue ball. All right, you see where it hit that rail up there? That's a point that you have to hit exactly within a very close margin of the width of that ball. That ball's, on American, it's about 2 3/8, or I'm sorry, it's about pool ball's 2 1/4 inches, between 2 3/8 and 2 7/16. There's a millimeter. I'm not sure the exact millimeter reading on it, but the bottom line is, or centimeter, and the bottom line is that you have a very little room for error here. You have to be accurate when that cue ball goes to the first rail. Now Paul's gonna. Here's another example. He's gonna put spin on the cue ball on the right side, hit the white ball on the left side, and then watch where it hits the end rail of the cue ball. See where the yellow hit the red, or hit the end rail? And he got a kiss. He didn't hit that either the right speed, the right English, or the right place on the rail. And in the international setting, they go exactly to their place. The guys are averaging over 2, exactly to their place on the rail. And this, by the way, does not belittle our players. We just have not had the exposure to that, and we enjoy the game immensely. But if we had just a little more training, and we were able to go through some of those training things, our averages would go up. Some of our players have gone into international settings. The World Tournament is an example, and they come back better players. They learn systems. They learn different field techniques, the mental game, the mechanical game. All of these things are taught. And I think sometimes in America we want to get something as fast as we can, so we want to go from A, B, C, D around the table. Just get there, and kind of sometimes put it in the right place. And we may not even know for sure we're going to get to the right place, but we still give it our best shot. It's just kind of the nature of it. Here's a great shot. Oh, look at this drop down. Oh my goodness, he got a kiss, and there's that example. I said, hey, there's an example. He got a kiss out right before hitting that ball, but it was a good kiss. It actually brought him in the ball. He got it anyway, probably, but in some cases, he can hit that ball and go around 2, 3 or more rails and still get the point. So just remember that before you hit that third ball, you have to go 3 or more rails. 3 or more cushions. This is a 5x10 table. You notice the diamonds on the rail top are laid out exactly in a 2-to-1 relationship. You can count the diamonds going down the rail. Even though you see 7 diamonds on the long rail, there's actually 1 in the corners. And if you count the rail, there's 5 if you count the corners. Now you'll once in a while see 2 dots up in those corners. That's also just reference points. And years ago, look at this shot. Years ago, I took the systems off a carom table and converted those to a pool table. This was back in 1987, 1988. Came up with a little book called Rack Up a Victory, and pool players are using that to learn how to use angles on the pool table for position, for safety, to make balls, make contact so you don't get ball in hand. This is where it all came from, right here on the carom table. Nice shot, Jim. That was a kind of a pullback 4-railer. He caught the 5th railer by the red ball. It's 12-6 right now, and Jim is still in the lead. Got about a 2-to-1 margin here. That was a very nice shot. Went off the side of the ball. 1, 2, 3, 4 rails into that yellow. Now this is a difficult shot. Jim's got to come up with something creative here. Well, he's going to try to go off the left side of the yellow. No, he's going. Oh, it's a backward shot. Look at this. You couldn't tell here where he was on that. It looked like he was going to hit yellow, but it didn't make any sense. He went off. That was off the right side, coming as a backwards 4-railer. You don't see that very often. You know, Paul's not quite. He was trying to go 5 rails, not quite catching it right. Here goes Jim. 13-6. Shovak over Frankel. Once again, we appreciate all the viewers here. Mr. Billiards live streaming, and thank you, Steve and Michael, for being here. We appreciate it, guys. Doing a great job. Okay, let's see what Paul's got here. He's going to try a cross-table shot. He's going to come off the left side of the white. Now, again, I mentioned earlier, for those that might have just joined us, we're talking about, if I say left side or right side, it's as the player is looking at it. So he's going to come off. Maybe he'll go 4. Yeah, he's going 4 rails. Look at this shot. This is beautiful. Don't kiss, Paul. Perfect. Down. How do you like it? That was a great shot. That would be one of those key shots. In a form of a key shot in the game. As I mentioned, when you find a local room that's got a table that needs reviving, go to usba.net and then find a player who loves 3 cushion. They're out there. They just haven't had a place to play for a while. And once you find him or her, there's a lot of ladies who are also playing the game, and it's a great game. I tell you, it's good for everyone. And some of the juniors over in Europe, they got junior programs. But anyway, find that person that you can play with and enjoy, and just enjoy the role. And keep playing it. Maybe you'll have a tournament someday in your area. You could form or talk to the house pro or just a house manager and ask them if they can interested in having a tournament. You can have it on one. You can even have it on one table if you want. Have a small tournament with 6, 7, 8 players, and have a 3 cushion billiard tournament in your area. 13-7, Jim Shovak over Paul Frankel. That's a nice shot right there, Paul. He's got a beautiful 5-railer coming down 6, falling down there, and some there's the end. It was a 7-rail drop-in shot after the standard 5 is executed. Picking up to 2 extra rails to get that point. Beautiful shot. Now, Paul, if you look at his cue ball, he's hitting right English in the cue ball. This is kind of a reverse shot. He's going to hit the right side of the white. Cue ball is going to hit the right rail, and then it's going to spin over to the other long rail and then drop into the short rail. Watch this. See, now watch it spin. Watch it spin. He's got the spin on it. Coming up. Oh. Just maybe a little thinner on that. He would have had it on the first ball hit, or maybe a little higher. The cue ball would loop off that first rail. A couple different variations. You know, you can hit these shots almost an infinite number of ways with the different speed, angle, and English of the shot. That was kind of a wide one there. Trying for a natural and went very long on the shot. Okay, let's see what Paul's going to do. He may go off. This is a nice shot. He'll either go off the left side of red and go 3 rails, dropping it, short rail, long rail, or he may go off a white on a 2 cushion plus 2 system shot. Go off the left side of the white, swing back into this short rail down here closest to you, over to the side rail, and back over to the other side rail, and then come out. He's looking at both options. I don't think he'll draw this into the rail because it's a little bit trickier shot. Yeah, he is. Paul's, it looks like he's drawing the ball into this long rail. Yeah, but see, now watch it if it spins long. See it? Spin short. It's funny. Sometimes it'll, in that case, he had a little bit too much low on it. It kind of shortened up on him. Of course, with a different stroke, it might have gone longer. So it's strange. It just depends upon a lot of the technique of the stroke, and it's almost something difficult to explain. You have to be somebody at the table that can kind of mentor you to try the different positions. If you want to put English on something, then you're watching the right game. Oh, it's a beautiful shot. No problem. Coming down. That was a key shot in the game. 4 rails off of one ball over to the other ball. Now he's got himself a little bit of a problem. Now there is a force follow shot here, but I'm not sure if he can. I'm not sure if he can stroke the ball properly. He may try to even. He's got to shoot over the top of the yellow, I believe. Yeah. You think he's going to force follow? This is a force follow. Driving the red out. Watch the cue ball. Try to stay on that end rail. There it is. Cross. Too much English. It's a very difficult shot. He didn't have much stroking room there, and for those kind of shots where you force through the cue ball, you have to have a little bit more stroking room to hit it right with accuracy. Okay, Paul's going. He's doing a lot of drawing here, trying to draw back off these balls, just like that. Spinning around. Is it short again? Yep. Same thing. Now there's 2 shots in a row he shot. Well, he might. Wow, he was trying, I think, maybe to come in the back door. I'm not sure. I don't know. These 3 balls look very close. They're not frozen. If they were frozen, there's a specific rule that tells you where to put those balls if they're frozen. Frozen, of course, for those that may not play the game, means that the 2 balls are actually touching each other when they come to excuse me, when they come to rest. And then there's rules for that. But in this case, they're still free from each other. And he's going to try to go back and forth across the table or spin it around. He's going to spin a 3-railer here. It's a bank. They call it a bank shot. Spin in the backside. You notice how pretty he did that. It was a little spin bank shot. A bank shot is where you drive the object ball into a cushion. In billiards, in 3 cushion, it's where you drive the cue ball into the rail first and spin back. That's called a bank shot. We call that in pool a kick shot. A kick shot is when in pool is when you drive the cue ball around. But in this case, Jim shot, quote, a bank shot, meaning kicking at it, so to speak, for the pool players out there. He's got a little nice natural short angle shot. He may have overspun it. Don't do that. He's had too many close ones today. It is 16-8, Shovak over Frankel. Again, that 2-1 margin. Okay, I think Jim's going to shoot off of the yellow and try to avoid the kiss here. maybe. He may also try to drop off of the red. That way there's no kiss in the shot. These players know where that first ball has potential of kissing, so they'll avoid it by shooting a different shot. Usually there's 2 or 3 options on most of the shots, maybe more, but generally at least 2. He's shooting off of this and dropping it back to the other end of the table. Oh, look at this. I missed that call. He was going in the back door on that one. Wow. It's an endless learning process in this game. You think you know a shot, and somebody will shoot something a little bit different. Okay, there's only 2 rails on that one. Oh, and he left Jim a... Well, I think Jim here is going to... oh, wait a second. Oh, Paul caught that. Excuse me, everyone. Maybe it's time for me to get a nap. You know, I get up early so I don't miss my nap. He's... Yeah, they're debating the shot. What happened there? Oh, see, so maybe I wasn't so far off. I couldn't tell from my angle. They thought maybe it was 2. But the player that's shooting is the opposite. I'm asking someone sitting in a chair who's another player in the tournament. And the person said, yeah, you got the 3rd rail. See, that was even debatable by Jim there in the chair. He didn't know exactly. Sometimes you can tell with certain types of English. Paul, he's having a little fun right now. Jim's having fun saying, did he make it? Did he make it? There's 2 in a row that have been so close. And you have to kind of question it, but at the same time, you can tell if there's a reflection, a slight movement. You can usually tell that, and it's interesting. We have a scorekeeper also that is watching, and I'm not quite sure who they can ask, but I think it goes to the shooter always, and the shooter's not going to take the shot. Nobody's out here to shoot the shot and take it if they didn't think they made it. And if there is a debate, it would go to someone. Usually, I don't know if they'd ask the scorekeeper. They might, or they might ask a player who's sitting watching from a different angle, because sometimes the angle you're sitting at, they can determine if you caught a rail, if you could see something move. Just there's a lot of things that go on with these round balls that it's not as easy as it may appear to be. Jim's coming into the short side here. Oh, he got a kiss, and it took him out of the shot. Do you see what happened there? When he hit that red ball, went up and hit that yellow, he would have made that. It drove that yellow ball out of the make of the point. So that's just unfortunate. That does happen. 16-9. Paul's made a little comeback. 16-9. Shovak over Frankel. Now, Paul has just performed brilliantly in his term. He won his flight. I had mentioned earlier about the formatting. Paul is playing as a winner of his semifinal bracket, and he's playing Jim Shovak, who was second in his bracket. They had 2 semifinal matches with 5 players, 2 semifinal brackets with 5 players in each bracket. And the first place person, when they finished those brackets, played another bank shot. Perfect. See that bank shot? For you pool players, see that kick shot? So Paul came out winning his bracket. Let's say flight E. Jim Shovak got second in his bracket, flight F. They play each other. Whoever wins goes on to play for the finals against the other 2 guys that are playing on another table, between Mason Shooney and Jim Bishop. You'll probably see one of those guys up here on this table in one of the next couple matches. And whoever loses this match, and whoever loses the match on the other table, will play each other for 3rd and 4th place. So, the winner on both tables plays each other for 1st, and the loser on both tables plays each other for 3rd and 4th. And that's called a modified single elimination technically. The single elimination pure is just you lose, you're out, but you're not really out of this. You can actually finish in the top 4 positions after the semifinals and still technically win the tournament. Oh, look at this shot. Wow. That was a very, very unique shot there. Jim actually wasn't playing that way. He was playing to come around natural 4 rails. And he had so much reverse on that, or, well, it turned into reverse. He hit the the long rail instead of the short rail, and it shortened up the angle, went right up there and hit that billiard. That was what we would call a scratch of the billiard, so to speak. It's a little different than the way you're playing it, but it still counts on the scoreboard, and tomorrow we'll remember that. Okay, now Jim's spinning that ball around, just like that. There it is. There's the natural 4. That's actually what he was going to do before, but he hit it harder and from a different position of the table. There are variations of the shots, 4 ratters. You'll see several variations. Okay, Jim's going to probably shoot off of yellow. Yes, he's shooting off yellow. Short angle shot off left side of yellow. Smooth stroke over to the side rail. Back out for the point. Boom. Very natural short angle shot. Jim has 18 and Paul has 10. They're playing to 25 points. Jim's going to shoot, it looks like a bank shot. Or did I say kick? It doesn't matter. For the carry players, it's a bank, and for the pool players, it's a kick. And there's a reason for all that I can explain. May get into that later, maybe the next round. It's interesting, the history. He used the system on that. He's going to hit the red. Missed it. I might as well tell you the story now real quickly. Years ago when the game of pool was over in Europe, they would shoot the shots on a pool table, and if they drove an object into a cushion and it went back to the other side of the table to go in a pocket, they called that a go across. Double bank shot. You just hit the bank with the object. They struck the ball into a rail. No matter how many cushions it went, they called it a. So we a kick shot. They call a kick shot a bank shot, and they call a bank shot a double, and we call bank shot a bank shot. Now that you're not confused, let me tell you what a double bank is. A double bank for us is the cue ball hits an object ball into 2 different cushions to make it in a pocket. Very difficult shot. And in Europe, they don't have a name for that shot because they don't shoot on that. Is probably the hardest shot in pool. They actually call it a triple, but they don't ever shoot a triple because it's such a difficult shot. So, y'all got that clear now? Give you something to debate online there for a while. History is very interesting in the game, how names evolve. Even the word scratch. For the pool players, a scratch is bad, and in this game, a scratch is good. So, it's because a scratch here still usually scores the point. And a scratch in pool, you get the rest. You get to sit down. So, Jim shooting another bank kick. Just give it a little bit of a dual personality here. We'll give it the bank kick. And missed it. Hit that one ball too full. It is 19-10. Shovak over Frankel. Paul's up. He's going to try to spin around. I'll thin on this red ball. Got to get around it fast here. Watch this. See? Get around. Oh, he got this. And comes down and scores the point. Now, that was a very delicate shot. He had hit that really super thin. Super thin. Looks like we got quite a few viewers online right now. Just keep enjoying it. Hopefully we'll give you a little bit of extra knowledge here, and I may be wrong on a few elements, but I'm doing the best, and I appreciate y'all watching, and we're all learning together. So just keep enjoying. Okay, Paul's got a tough shot here. It's a really difficult shot. Now he has a couple of options. He could technically go off of the back side or the left side of yellow off of white, and somehow come back to that short rail and then come back down. He's got to kind of elevate again. I don't like. Man, it's tough. How did he hit that shot? Oh, he made that. Oh no! What a great effort. I'm mad for that. Mark that up on the score sheet here. It's 19-11. Oh, they can't do it? Okay, 11. We'll keep that half. In case he gets another one later, we'll give him 2 halves and we'll give him that full point. I always used to think that was the way it should be. If you got a close one, you had a line judge, you get a half a point. And if you got 2 close ones, you get an extra point, because sometimes you need to get something for those close ones after a good try. Jim went around 5 rails, coming down, coming right into the ball. Boom. No problem. 20-11. 20-11. He'll be playing in the finals, which is between Jim Bishop and Mason Shuney. And right now, the winner of this match, and then whoever loses this match, if it happens to be Paul, he will play the loser of the other match for 3rd and 4th position. So that's how it works. Modified single elimination. The USBA has gone to that apparent format for some of their other events, and they're tweaking and tuning, and they got a great group working there, that board and everybody, and you know, every sport is, as it's growing, and they're in a resurgence now, and Three Cushion is alive and well, and therefore they're going to learn. They have a good board responding, inputting advice, and all kinds of things on code of conduct and rules, and rules are basically all in place, but formatting is something they're still working on a little bit of. They're working on promotions and rooms this year, trying to get more rooms involved, new membership promotions. There are just all kinds of things going on. So if you're interested in the USBA, what they're doing to bring this game new life, new vigor, and new players, go to usba.net. It's usba.net, and just enjoy that site. It's a wonderful site. Paul's dropping down, another kiss. Yeah, Paul's holding back a little bit right now, trying to be too close, too careful. And I know where he's coming from. When I get to be that careful, I just cannot let the right brain release itself. The feel of the game is stifled, and a lot of you that are into the mental part of the game, you realize that if you're too analytical with the left brain, you can get what's called the paralysis of analysis. Therefore, you can't really swing the cue with a free-flighted motion, which inhibits your feel to release itself. The right brain is the release of the cue, the dead stroke, so to speak, that can happen as a result of letting it happen. But if you get too much analytical, you can cost yourself that particular release of the cue. Very hard to tell if that made or not from this angle. He shot the shot, and that was one of those shots that it looks like it's hitting the ball almost identically at the same time. And if it's that close and they can't tell, they won't take it. And the only exception that would be if you had a refereed match. The referee would make that call. And whether you thought you made it or not, it is the referee call. Here we go. Paul's going around 5 rails. Get out of the kiss. Yep, coming down. Careful. Oh, came out on the short side. Curly, I'm gonna take about a 1 minute break here from the mic. I'll be back, so don't anybody leave on the stream, guys. There, I'm going to Steve and Michael. I'm going to take about a 1 minute break. I'll be right back. Okay. Okay, Dr. Q's back. Curly, you still with me down there? And Steve and Michael, you still with me? Yep, they're still with me. We've got a score of 22-11. Curly, I'm back. I'm back. I don't know if I'm still on. Okay, yeah, we're back on here, and it is 22-11. It's that 2-to-1 ratio yet. Isn't that amazing? It hasn't changed hardly at all. Paul's dropping it over to the side rail, coming up long. No, he's just not making a connection right now. Okay, now here we have, I'm not sure exactly. Jim, it's a little tricky. He may he would spin the ball across the table, drive the yellow ball full into the short rail with extreme left English and low, and try to spin the cue ball. I don't think he'll go. He may go 5 rails too. Let's see if he goes 5 rails or just spins across. Yep, he's going 5 rails. See, that's the kiss. It's too hard to get out of it. Wait, get another kiss. I never saw that one. Yeah, he knows he hit that a little bit too full. He wanted to hit a little thinner, maybe beat it around there. Okay. He needs 3 points to win the game, and Paul needs quite a few here. He needs about 14 points, so he needs to pick up his tempo a little bit and get the feel together and start making those points. Oh man, he tried to spin that. See, that was called a reverse shot down the long road. You notice how the cue ball acted? It didn't take a natural roll to his left. It hit the long rail. Then it went to the short one, and it went back to the same long rail. That's called a reverse shot down the rail. He got a little bit too much spin on it. Could be a little too much high or low. There's a combination of elements there, and even the hit on the ball. But the bottom line is that when you get all those ingredients put together right, the cake comes out of the oven, and boom, you get the point. I hope you're all enjoying this today. It's great to be here at the Pendennis Club in Louisville, Kentucky. Right downtown. This is our 3rd year at Pendennis Club. We've been in Louisville 4 years with the event, and it's always a joy to be here. Jim and I just missed that completely, which is really rare. He pulled the stroke a little bit to cause that to happen. It probably wasn't alignment. He was trying to hit it thin, but usually he would make contact. But anyway, we're at the Pendennis Club, downtown Louisville. This is an historical building of immense proportions. It's a tremendous building, beautiful beam ceilings in here. It's hard to see them all, but this is a private club that has opened their hearts and their doors to the 22 of the 3-cushion billiard players from pretty much all over the United States. We've got guys here from Florida and Boston, up in the Northeast, and all over. A lot of guys from Indiana here. One of the guys, Dennis Dubertine, the Doob, plays in Marty and my wife and I. We have our artistic pool tour, and Dennis plays in that. He's called the Doob, and plays in the artistic pool championships we have, the artistic cup. So we got a full cross section here of guys that are just having a ball, and it's just a joy to be here this week with them. Great super group of guys. Some of the wives are here, and they're enjoying the view as well. And we just appreciate everybody that's been here this week. Want to encourage all of you to enjoy the game, and whether you play 3-cushion or pool or snooker, even what the game they call the Russian Pyramid game that I played years ago when I was over in Moscow. These games are all beautiful. The cue sports in general are awesome. So feel free to find a table and enjoy it. Share it with your friends. Nice little drop in there. 23-11. Jim needs 2 points. Didn't quite get that to float down there far enough. Yeah, Paul's struggling. It's 23-11. He needs to have a really good run here to come back into this game. When your opponent needs 2, although last night I needed 2, and I didn't get out in a 20-point game. That's interesting. You need 2 points, and you just can't get it. And compliments to Max Fisher, who beat me last night. He played a great game, and super guy, and his wife's here watching. And so thank you, Max, for a great job. We appreciate you giving me the thrill last night. It was a joy watching you. We played last year also, and all the players here just 23 to 11. Jim needs to 2 points. Oh, look at this shot. He force followed that ball. Look at this. Oh, wow, what a nice shot. It was beautiful. He needs one. He's in the one hole. One more point, and Jim will have this game. I think he's going to go 2 rails, short rail, long rail, back side of the yellow, and back to the rail. This is called an umbrella shot. I think it's the first one we've seen this match, maybe. See? No. Oh, he hit it too full. Now, if that would, he went to 2 rails first, hits the back side, so the umbrella opens up. 2 rails into it, opens up, goes back to that other rail, and catches that red ball. Beautiful umbrella shot. Paul's going 4 rails. It was a good hit. Is it going to make it? Nope. Close. Once again, Paul Frankel is the promoter, Professor Q-Ball Promotions. Go to Professor Q-Ball. That's Professor, the letter Q, BALL.com. You can see the live stream. You can also see the information on pool and billiards. He has a magazine, Professor Q-Ball's Pool and Billiard, 3-cushion billiards. Feel free to contact Paul at ProfessorQball.com. And super guy. I've been working with Paul now for 10 years in different projects, and we've enjoyed some special times together around 3-cushion and pool. He was even part of our Chiudini project last year. We had, well, actually it was 2009. Paul did a thing called the Magic Moment, and he did real well in that. He's a great magician. If you've never seen his magic, ask him to show you a trick sometime. And great personality. He'd do anything for you just to help you promote the sport. He has a great event coming up at the Hopkins Expo in March called the Champion of Champions. It's the top, all of the former champions of USBA are going to play, including Mercedes, who's going to be playing there. So they got 7 guys and a lady playing, and it's going to be just marvelous to see these champions, 8 players fighting it out, or I should say championing it out to see who is the champion of champions. It's never been done before, and Paul put that together to be done at the Allen Hopkins Expo in March. That's the 10th through the 13th, I believe, are the dates. So if you're free and you're up at PA at Valley Forge Convention Center, stop in and see Paul and these champion players. These will be the best the United States has to offer. Mason will be there, Mason Shuney, who's in the other match. You'll be seeing it just a little bit later, as well as the guys that have been playing now, Sonny Cho, Mercedes Gonzalez, all of these players, Carlos Hallen, Jay Cho Hung, who is the defending champion in the USBA Nationals. We also have the USBA Nationals going to be held in May 8th through the 13th at the Tropicana, which is completely renovated. May of this year at the ACS National Tournament. The national tournament is the ACS, American Q Sports Association, and they are American Q Sports Alliance, excuse me, and they are hosting not only their own pool tournament they've had now for years and years. They're doing in their venue the 3-cushion billiard nationals, USBA, which is normally held in February, early part of the year. They're doing it in May, which allows a few more qualifiers, and that's going to be great. So if you're in Las Vegas, come to the Tropicana and watch the 3-cushion there. I'll be playing in that one. Hopefully, I've entered it, and if I can get in on the waiting list and they call me up, I'll be there. I'm going to be there anyway, doing shows for the ACS. But for those that are interested, the 3-cushion will be there at the same time. And so anyway, enjoy everything here in this game. No matter whether you go to a tournament, you play with someone in your local area. You can actually play 3-cushion on a pool table And if you make a ball in a pocket, you just spot it somewhere on a spot of the head spot or the foot spot or the center spot, and you just keep playing. You have to just kind of try to avoid the pockets. It's an interesting way of playing, but years ago, a guy named Gail Johnson, who was the secretary of the ABA, the old ABA, American Billiard Association, who used to promote it in pool, three cushion. Put a 1 ball, a 3 ball, and a cue ball on the table, and go to it. So if you don't have a 3 cushion table, just pick up your pool table, and you don't have to close the pockets up. Some do. They put liners in them, but I don't know if you can even get those anymore. But I do know that you can still play the concept of 3 cushion on the pool table. Okay, back to this game. Jim Shovak needs 1 point. Paul is at 13, needs 12, and he's run now 1 or 2, so he's got a shot yet if he can get his high run. I think his high run is 13 or 14. So if he can get a high run here, a new personal at best, Jim will lose in the 1 hole. But you got to really be rolling to get that 13 or 14 run. So let's see what happens. Missed it. Missed the ball. He was trying to go rail first on that. Now, I didn't mention too much about the rail first shot. That's called a tiki, T-I-K-I. Rail first, ball back to the rail, and another rail and out. He was trying to come off the front side of that white ball with his yellow. So it would have been kind of an outside, you can call it an outside umbrella, I guess you might call it. It hits the rail first, the ball, end rail, long rail, back up to the table. Okay, Jim, let's see if this is going to be his out point. He's got to go 5 rails around the table. If it's hard enough, he doesn't get a kiss. Nope, it's going to come out on the short side. I don't think he's going to make it. It's not hard enough. But he left Paul tough. Now, by the way, I didn't mention defense much. If you look at this shot, this is what you don't want to see in 3 cushion. You don't want to see yourself at one end of the table and the other 2 balls at the other end of the table and try to figure out how to hit those 2 balls. Now, sometimes those 2 balls up the other end will lay just right where you can shoot a tiki or something. But Paul's got to do a bank / kick. And he's going to hit it like this, spin over, spin down. Not quite. It's just a tough shot. And that's what they call the defense of the game. Not always intentional. Most of the time you play a shot offensively for position. There's position in the game. But if you hit it right, you will also be able to get kind of a leave on the shot. There's a general rule of thumb. If you hit easy off yellow, in this case Jim's hitting his white ball, if you hit easy off the first ball or hard off the red ball, you generally will get a leave if you don't make it. That's just a general rule of thumb. Depends again. His offense is the key, but did he make it? He hit it, and that was the 25th point, and this game is over. The winner is Jim Shovak, USBA Secretary, over Professor Q-Ball, promoter, and great player, great fan of the game, great